Hello, everyone. It seems like the situation with America and Iran is getting more and more tense by the day, and with stories of sanctions, exploding mines on oil tankers, and now drones being shot out of the sky, things seem to be escalating quickly. Starting back on May 8th of 2018, Trump withdrew the United States from a 2015 nuclear deal signed between Iran, the US, the UK, Russia, France, China, and Germany that allowed Iran to trade with the outside world and be lifted of some sanctions that were placed upon them. On May 5th, America sent aircraft carriers and Air Force bombers to the Middle East, saying it was intended to send a clear and unmistakable message to the Iranian regime that an attack on United States interests will be met with unrelenting force. On May 8th, the president announced a new round of sanctions on Iran's metal industry as well as on any country that buys oil from them. In response, the president of Iran says they will begin stockpiling more enriched uranium, which is used for fuel for reactors but also to make nuclear weapons.
25 miles off the coast of Iran, the front Altair oil tanker is disabled and on fire. An explosion ripped a hole and scorched the tanker's side. Its Filipino, Russian, and Georgian crew had to abandon ship and be rescued. They ended up on an Iranian boat.
On June 13th, the U.S. reported that 2 oil tankers were attacked in the Strait of Hormuz after receiving distress calls. America accused Iran of the act and released footage of Iranian forces removing an unexploded mine from the side of a damaged ship. Iran claims the footage is fake, however. On June 17th, the Pentagon authorized the deployment of an additional 1,000 troops to the Middle East, bringing with them surveillance assets, missile batteries, and fighter jets. This is where things start to get murky, however. On June 20th, Iran shoots down an American drone worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Iran claims that the drone was in their airspace and therefore invading their country, and so they had every right to shoot it down. In a live broadcast, Iran's military leader warned America to respect Iran's territorial integrity, saying, "Those who defend the borders of the Islamic Nation of Iran will react in a total and decisive way to any intrusion by foreign elements on our land. Our borders are a red line." The administration, however, claims Iran is lying and that the drone was flying in international airspace. Spokesman Navy Captain Bill Urban said, "Iranian reports that the aircraft was over Iran are false. This was an unprovoked attack on a U.S. surveillance asset in international airspace." Around midday, Trump tweets out this about Iran. And then later, in the Oval Office with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Trump says maybe the attack was a literal mistake made by a loose and stupid general. Things get a little unclear here due to Trump telling conflicting stories about the same event. So, in version 1, apparently around 7 p.m. Thursday night, Trump gives the order to launch a military strike against 3 targets within Iran, which would then take place sometime around 9 p.m. that night. According to the president, shortly after giving the okay for the strike, he asked his generals how many casualties it would cause, and their response was somewhere around 150. Supposedly, this is what caused President Trump to call off the strike, as he felt it was not a proportional response. And then on Friday morning, the 21st, Trump tweeted this, claiming that America was cocked and loaded to retaliate, but then last minute that he decided to call off the strike, supposedly with only 10 minutes to spare. However, with a recently released clip from Chuck Todd and Meet the Press, Trump says that he called off the strike before any planes had left and that America was not all that close to striking Iran in the end.
And they came in, and they came in about a half an hour before. They said, "So we're about ready to go." I said, "I want a better
planes
definition."
In the air? Were planes in the
we're
air?
about ready to go.
Yeah.
No, but they would have been pretty soon.
Many are skeptical of this, however, saying that the generals would have given Trump the casualty numbers during his briefings, and that maybe this has all been a ploy to try and play a game of chicken with Iran, or that maybe it's the president trying to find some way out of going into a full-scale conflict in the Middle East. So, to break it down, in version 1, around 7 p.m., Trump okays the strikes against Iran for 3 different targets. The plan is apparently underway. Shortly afterwards, he asks his generals how many will die due to the strikes. Supposedly, after some period of time, the generals give Trump the estimate of around 150 or so deaths, and that is when Trump calls off the strike with only 10 minutes to spare, believing it is not a proportional response. In version 2, the generals come to Trump before takeoff and before anything is okayed to let the president know they are ready to go whenever he is. This is apparently when Trump asks about the number of casualties and calls the whole thing off before any planes were even in the air. The information on this story seems to be evolving every hour, so we are still going to have to wait to see what happens. But by 1:30 a.m. on June 22nd, it does seem like Trump is trying to back away from any form of outright conflict with Iran. Alrighty everyone, thanks for watching. Please leave a like down below if you enjoyed the video and want me to make more, and wherever you are, have a nice morning, day, or night. Bye!